Hey guys, real fast before the video starts, I just wanted to interrupt here and just say that this is actually part of a 2-video collab. One, of course, is on my channel, and one is over at Probably Simming. If you want to see what I look like IRL, click that card up there, because I make myself in The Sims 4 for the first time ever. Alright, cool. Let's start the video. Hey guys, Aaron here from New Game Minus, and I'm joined today by Veronica from Probably Simming.
I am Probably Simming. I'm not from Probably Simming.
And I'm joined today by Probably Simming.
Yeah.
If you like to visit her channel, links in the video. Or click that card up there. Either one of the two.
If you like The Sims.
Yeah, if you like The Sims, she makes some good stuff, I'd say.
Yeah.
I could say that. I'm confident in that. Today we're going to talk about the differences between Sims 3 and Sims 4. And the reason I thought this would be an interesting discussion for us is because, obviously, Veronica having her own Sim channel, she is pretty much obsessed with The Sims 4.
I'm a Simspert.
She's a Simspert. That was said. And I haven't really touched The Sims 4 very much at all. I've seen like light reviews of it and stuff, and some mixed opinions about it here and there a little bit, but I've never really actually played it. But The Sims 3 I've played in my childhood, so I know a little bit more about that than I do The Sims 4. So how this is going to break down is that I think I'm going to bring up a couple of different topics that The Sims 3 versus The Sims 4, things that they do differently. After which, Veronica, being a Simspert, she can rebuttal some of the claims or whatever, and we'll talk about it.
Destroy you.
No, that's not the plan. I was going to say that's the plan. I don't like this plan.
Destroy.
All right. So, topic number 1 is the...
But wait, we're doing a challenge.
Oh my gosh, we are doing a challenge. In the background footage, Veronica had the wonderful idea of doing a sim challenge. Me in Sims 3 and Veronica is in Sims 4.
Yeah.
So she's going to explain.
So it's a create a sim challenge, and we have 33 different prompts, which I'm not going to read to you, but Aaron can link them down below if he feels so inclined.
I most certainly will.
But right now, we're each going to randomly, we have a random number generator. We're each going to randomly pick 3 of the topics, and then we have to make a sim that embodies all 3 of those topics. And I think 20 minutes was our time limit to make those. So my sim's going to be better than Aaron's. That's all you need to know. So only watch my side of the screen.
I'm making like a disappointed noise, but that's probably going to be the case.
Yeah.
So I'm being realistic here.
Okay. So do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, okay. That's fine. All right. So my first number is 26.
And that is diversity.
Diversity.
So the parentheses is make a sim with a race you don't usually use.
Okay.
So, but you don't make sims. So I'd say just make one that's not your race.
Okay. Just not pasty white man. Got it.
Okay, so are you going to go all 3 times, or are we going to take turns?
We could just do all 3 so it's not confusing.
7. You have to make a hybrid sim.
Hybrid. What is that?
Are there aliens in The Sims 3?
Yeah, I think so.
So can you do genetics?
I'm not sure.
Oh, well, if you can, that means one of your Sims parents
I can make them look like an alien.
Well, no, because that means one of your Sims parents needs to be an alien and one needs to be a human.
Okay,
so can you, I don't know, I haven't played The Sims 3 in a long time and only on PlayStation, but if you make 2 Sims, can you also make their child and be like, hey, this is their child in the create a sim?
If I can't, I'll just make
use alien features too.
Yeah, I'll make them look like an alien.
Okay, and now your third one.
Da, 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 da.
31.
Yeah.
A teacher.
A teacher.
So you have a hybrid teacher, and you can't use your alien bits as your unusual race.
Gotcha. So it has to be like, I see.
Yeah.
That's pretty straightforward. I feel like that's pretty easy. I can tackle that.
Okay.
I can deal with it.
Okay, my turn. 30.
Wow.
Okay. The ugliest sim I can make. Oh no!
I wanted that one. Because then I didn't have to try.
There's no such thing as an ugly sim. 16. I have to make a sim based on a dessert. Oh my gosh! What was the sim we just talked about? The Girl Scout cookie sim.
Yes. So in our previous video, we talked about how we were talking about our favorite types of Girl Scout cookies. Yeah. And I don't even remember what the Girl Scout cookie was.
I don't know.
Go check it out.
It was a Girl Scout cookie.
You have to make that now. It's decided.
They have to like it. They have to like it. No, because I don't want her to be ugly.
That's true.
I'll pick a different
dessert.
That's
true. Okay.
Okay, I need to roll my third one.
Yep.
26. Wait, did you get 26? You did. So do you want me to not have the same one? Because that's the diversity one. All right, 10. A male child. Make a child boy sim. Okay, so mine has to be a boy, dessert, ugly child. And I don't make male Sims. I don't make ugly Sims. And I guess I have to pick a dessert.
I expect an Instagram post with this.
Oh, no. I have a Simstagram full of beautiful girl Sims.
That she puts a lot of effort into. And I want her to ruin it with this.
There were so much better options that we could have rolled. They could have made us.
We're stuck with these now. We're moving on.
Oh God.
All right. All right.
So now you can watch us fail at this in the background.
It's going already, honestly. Look at us go. Wow.
Holy nuts.
Wow.
Look at those Sims.
Wow, Veronica, that was a good move there. I'm adding it in post. All right, so Sims 3 versus Sims 4.
Sims 3?
Sims 3 versus Sims 4.
That's a different game. Sims 3 play is on the phone.
Oh, my mistake.
Sims 3.
Sims 3.
I know more about both of these than you do because you don't know anything.
You probably you know more about The Sims than me in general. So that's why I thought this discussion would be a good idea, because you can just you could talk about The Sims, because I know you enjoy doing that.
I need any excuse.
So The Sims 3 versus The Sims 4. The first topic I want to talk about is actually the aesthetic changes of the games, right? So I think The Sims 3.
Yes.
Coming from Sims 2, had it was kind of getting a little bit cartoony, but it had a more realistic edge, a little bit.
Yeah, but it is still, it's not smooth like The Sims 4. There's still kind of that pixely texture.
That's just,
I guess The Sims 4 can turn into if you play on laptop mode. Ooh.
That's a diss that I guess I don't know.
Laptop mode's really low quality.
I see.
So The Sims doesn't hurt your laptop.
I see.
That's for noobs.
So I'm thinking that kind of low qualityness is probably just because
it's just the age.
It's
I'm
8
not
years
judging
old.
it for it.
You know?
I'm just saying.
I'm talking about
Sims 4 is very smooth.
The aesthetic decisions, the clear decision to make Sims 4 look a little bit more cartoony, a little bit more clean, and a little bit more bright and vibrant. This is very fun. This is honestly a thing that I find people actually have a problem with it. With how Sim 4 looks.
Who are they? I'll fight them. Give me a list. List their names.
I don't have that big of a problem with it. I like how it looks. It's aesthetically pleasing, and I like how a lot of the Sims look too, especially when you get a Sim spurt like Veronica here that knows how to manipulate the art style and make things look.
That also depends on, at least if you're using custom content, if you're using Max's Match custom content or alpha custom content, because those Sims I guess look more real, but I also unpopular opinion, I don't like them very much just because they don't match the rest of the game unless you use even more custom content, and that's just too much effort.
So a Max's Match is if you didn't pick up the
clay style of the Sims 4.
It matches what it looks like.
EA makes.
The aesthetics.
Yeah.
Which I already said this, but I'm actually a fan of how the Sims 4 looks over the Sims 3.
You're betraying your side.
I am, but we're gonna get into some problems I have with the Sims 4. So I wanted to start off with something.
Attack my game. That's all I have.
One of those problems is one of the problems that I have with the Sims 4.
Tread lightly.
Is that the Sims 4?
Oh, I'm gonna stop you right there. This is unacceptable.
The Sims 4, I don't think it progressed the series enough to maybe warrant a sequel. Do you know what I mean? Like, from The Sims 2 to The Sims 3, a lot was added. From The Sims 3 to The Sims 4, honestly, more stuff was removed than was added.
But you don't think a
base
quality
game.
change
I'm talking
justifies
base game.
it? You don't think a complete change of aesthetic? Because if they updated, if they had just updated The Sims 3 to look like The Sims 4, that would have it's a different game.
The aesthetic is warranted for a new game, and
But you just said there was nothing to warrant it. Veronica wins.
As a game, it's not that different from Sims 3. And this is just surface level experience.
But aren't all the Sims games the same?
Sure, but like they've added a lot more in the past. From The Sims 3 to The Sims 4.
They're getting there.
Right, but I'm talking base game level, right?
I guess.
Because I talked about this a little bit before to you personally, outside of the mic. We decided to do this comparison.
This is all scripted.
This is all scripted.
No, I'm just kidding. Now they don't know what to believe.
I'm
not a liar. Aaron is.
If we were to compare The Sims, like expansions and everything, The Sims 3 would probably win by default.
But The Sims 3 is also a finished game.
Yeah, it's been out for a very long time, so that's why we're comparing base game stuff. But that unfortunately also leaves Sims 4 kind of hanging dry, because again, it's a lot of the stuff they're adding now was stuff that was in the base game in Sims 3. That's a problem that I have with it. That's why I didn't pick it up when it launched, and there was kind of a mini controversy about it, almost. That it's kind of a trimmed down experience.
I've not experienced this controversy.
They've rectified it a lot, with a lot of free updates and stuff like that now.
Wait, did you just say they've wrecked it a lot?
Rectified.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, how dare you?
No, they've improved the game substantially since its release.
I think the quality has a lot to do with it, though, because I feel like it's going to take a long time to get it all the way up, just because of the standard of it. And there's just a lot going on. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to be a game developer or anything, but that might have something to do with it. I don't know. It's not like they're not adding to the base game.
No, they are.
They do.
They are. And that's what I mean. They're slowly turning it into a better game. And
who knows where they'll finish? Hopefully never. I mean, there are all those YouTube videos that are like, oh, The Sims 5, and then it's just them walking around trying to make people think that The Sims 5 just looks like real people. I'm on to you.
So my problem with The Sims 5 is, no, I'm just kidding.
It's not real.
Another problem that I have with it is actually not a problem necessarily, just something that The Sims 3 did differently is the open world aspect of it, the almost open worldness. And before this, I didn't really have a full understanding of what The Sims 4, like The Sims 4, there's loading screens. Veronica, why don't you explain when Veronica...
Okay, so there are different neighborhoods. Okay, there are different worlds, and then there are different neighborhoods or districts in those worlds depending on where you are. But if you're on a lot, you can go through the entire neighborhood. You just can't go into the buildings on other lots.
Right.
Like, for instance, if you're at your house, you can walk around your entire neighborhood, but you can't go into your neighbor's house without loading that house. But you obviously have to load between worlds. I'm not sure how it is in The Sims 3, because I only played it on PlayStation, and I was like, very small.
Well, I think with The Sims 3, you can there are loading zones.
Yes.
But it's a lot more open.
Like if you're at your house, can you go to your neighbor's house?
You can go in your neighbor's house, and there's no loading screen in between there. But what that does, and why
do you
I
think
think
that has to do with weight?
Weight?
Like weight of the lots.
No. What I think it has to do, I've actually.
There's a lot going on here.
Oh my god. I've actually read about this a little bit. Thank you for...
I just want them to know. Hi, I'm funny.
Hi, I'm Veronica, and I'm funny.
Whoa. Actually, I'm probably saying.
So, I've actually read about this, and the reason I think that they decided to not do that in The Sims 4, because obviously the technology's there because they did it in The Sims 3, is that The Sims 3, as a game, is kind of an unstable game. It crashes a lot.
Some of my favorite memes are Sims 3 glitch memes.
It's not
everything.
The fact that there are memes based on how not stable The Sims is.
I follow at least 5 Instagram accounts that are just Sims 3 glitch memes.
It's telling about how.
But they're adorable.
I've heard that back in the day when The Sims 3 was new, like big rigs had problems running The Sims 3 because it sucks GPU usage and everything. Like it's not a stable game. So I think maybe that they wanted
tried to make it more stable.
Yeah, more stable so that it could reach more people. It's more accessible.
As long as you have your quality set up to match the abilities of the computer you're playing, the loading screens are really fast.
Right.
I mean, I play on a laptop. I'm sorry everybody. I play on a laptop.
This is a New Game Minus hot scoop.
And my loading time it's not that long. Like 30 seconds to a minute, usually.
That's a long loading screen.
No, but
what are you talking
30 seconds to a minute to load the game. Between worlds, usually 30 seconds or less.
That's still a long
And if you're in the
screen.
same world, it's like 5 seconds.
I'm living in the world of a tower, of a PC
good
tower.
For you.
30 seconds to load is still pretty long, I think.
Not when you have that awesome Sims theme to play.
I guess that does help the tone.
But that's on a bad day. Sometimes it's just like boom. So like sometimes if you watch my videos, if I haven't cut the loading screen, it's because
no. But your point is good. You know, like if it's like if you're playing The Sims 4.
Are you really that upset if it takes 30 seconds to load? You get to read all the puns. The loading screen has puns.
If you have a tower like mine and you're playing The Sims 4,
probably like 5 seconds.
yeah,
every time.
then the load. Your point is that the loading screens wouldn't take that long,
no.
and that's fine.
And I mean, you have to compensate for your computer.
Right.
Like, I mean, don't put your computer in laptop mode. Lower the settings individually. But if your settings match your computer's abilities, or you pick and choose which settings are important to you, like. If you want your Sims high quality, but you don't necessarily need super high quality trees in your yard, then pick and choose, and then you can have the quality where you need it, so your computer can function and your loading time's not insane.
Right.
Because sometimes you get stuck, and The Sims takes a very long time to load, and
now
that's not a fun time.
Me being unfamiliar with The Sims 4, is The Sims 4? Would you consider it like a stable game? Does it crash a lot on you, or it doesn't?
No.
It has crashed before, but not frequently.
But usually
The Sims 3 would crash pretty frequently.
I would say The Sims on its own, like actual official Sims 4 stuff, very stable. But when you start introducing mods and custom content and stuff,
that's always the
playing
risk.
Your own game.
It always has a risk with that, yeah.
But I mean, The Sims isn't like wrecking my computer or anything.
Well, yeah. So that was definitely. I definitely think that was.
And
the
my
trade-off
Sims
there.
aren't like leaving their legs behind.
Me
ever.
personally now, though, I do prefer the open world just because you don't have to break up your gameplay with a loading screen.
But isn't it worth breaking up your game for some puns?
I don't know about that.
That's what I'm here for.
I don't know about
quality
that.
Puns.
All right, do a pun right now. I'm putting you on the spot.
No.
I'm putting you on the spot.
No. Okay, so I'm not going to take any credit for this because it was one of the gurus. But what did the vampire toddler say when she was hungry?
What did she say?
That's none of your business. Why are you talking to other people's children?
Is that the pun?
No, that's not. No, it was plasmama. Instead of plasma, plasmama. Like, please, mama, plasma.
I'm cutting this out of the video.
No.
I'm
Wait,
just kidding.
we can have more. There's a whole list.
No, we're talking about The Sims.
But these are Sims puns.
But we have to talk about the differences. Okay,
Why
quality
did the
of
toddler
pun.
drink coffee?
Why?
He needed a pick-me-up.
Oh my god.
Because toddlers want to be picked up.
Yeah.
I didn't write these puns or come up with them.
Why
You can't
was
blame
the
me.
scarecrow promoted?
If I hear this joke one more time.
I've said it in
Okay,
my
what's your
videos
next
before
point?
too. All right.
Get on with it.
Well, you know what?
You know what? I do know what.
Why don't you name something that you like about The Sims 4? We can kind of go back and forth.
Can we talk about everything?
Well, something I know that's something
In the
that The
base
Sims
game?
4. Or why don't I'll bring up something.
Okay.
It's something that Sims 4 does that The Sims 3 doesn't is the emotion system. I don't know much about it,
Well, there
but
are emotions now.
how much does that affect the gameplay on a
A lot,
day-to-day?
because
Does
if
it?
your Sims have negative emotions, they're not going to want to do anything. And then, depending on the emotion, like you can complete things faster, or you can do things. It just works differently. Like if your Sim's in a flirty mood, you're gonna have more chances of getting with the other Sim that they want to get with. Or if your Sim's uncomfortable because they're really tired, they're gonna keep trying to go to bed, with depending on your free will setting, and they're not gonna want to go to work. Or like it just depends. But the moods are an annoyance and amazing. But it's because it makes them more like real people.
Right.
Like if my Sim could just stay up till 3 a.m. and just live her life and not get uncomfortable about it. That I don't think it'd be as fun. Like sometimes you're like, oh my god, stop being tired. But also, they're real.
So, you're sacrificing a little bit of fun, I guess, for the sake of realism. Is that what you're
sacrificing fun? I don't think it makes it less fun because
Okay.
it also makes you strategize with how you play your
Okay,
Sims. It makes you
all
treat
right.
them better or more horribly, depending on what kind of Simmer you are.
Whoa.
It just depends.
Veronica off camera tortures all of her Sims.
I have never killed a Sim. I have never, ever, ever killed a Sim. I treat them all very well. I get attached very easily. Team Peppermint.
Spearmint is the bomb. That was very subtle.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the emotions are cool. They're important. And there's so many. There's so many. Like negative, positive, all the emotions. Also, there are so many different ways to die from extreme emotions. You can die of embarrassment. You can die from being too uncomfortable. You can die from laughing too hard.
I wish I could die from being too uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I would have died a long time ago. And that's interesting that you bring up that it makes The Sims feel more alive, because I think that's their intended
when you
purpose.
Have to live in The Sims,
you
like
know.
I do. You want them to be real people.
So has The Sims kind of turned from like a god simulator to more of like a role-playing kind of thing for you, or are you still kind of a?
It depends. Some people get really into it and they live as their Sims or whatever. And I don't have any problem with that, but I more like to create backstories for the Sims and then let them live out, not just like, hey, I can make you do whatever I want. More as like, oh, this is this person's personality, so they wouldn't make that decision kind of thing.
You're creating like Sim OCs, kind of.
No, that makes it sound awful.
OCs aren't a bad thing.
I'm just creating characters, but not like...
original characters.
But not in that way. Your OC has a certain connotation.
Sure.
Gosh, that was an attack on my person. I came here to talk about The Sims and I'm being attacked.
That was me last video on Veronica's channel. Go check it out.
He deserved it. He deserved it. He deserved it. He deserved it. Don't watch out. I'll release all of your information. I know where Aaron lives. I know what Aaron looks like. I think that's all I need.
She knows where I work on youtube.com/newgame-.
Whoa, subtle plug on the channel.
On my channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And all that jazz. Back to The Sims a little bit. I'm steering back in The Sims direction.
How do you know we're not Sims?
Sims 3 v. Oh my god. Yeah, who's controlling me? I want to know the person that created me
in The Sims
and
4,
ask why.
In The Sims 4, you can be a social media influencer.
That's kind of cool.
So.
And that's something I wanted to talk about too. You know, The Sims 4 has the advantage a little bit. Even though I said previously that The Sims 3 had an advantage in almost everything, I think. Whoa. The Sims 4 has the advantage of being the new, constantly updated game.
Yeah.
That means a bigger modding community. That means more relevant kind of stuff.
You'd be surprised how much Sims 3 custom content
that's still getting made.
Yeah, and even like, because people design challenges for The Sims 4, people will find those challenges and then rewrite them for The Sims 3. Not finding Sims 3. People do find Sims 3 challenges and then rewrite them for The Sims 4. But it goes backward too.
Like Sims 3.
So The Sims 3 isn't dead, even though it's a finished game.
That also proves my point how similar they are as a game. You know what I mean? They're not much was added in between.
I didn't say rewriting a challenge was easy.
That's true. That's true.
Plot twist in this video. Aaron introduces face cam. No, I'm just kidding. You wish.
Here's a photograph of my Sim. Something else that The Sims 3 does that The Sims 4 doesn't is like where you go to work. So they just disappear, right?
Yeah.
Not in the expansions.
No, not in the expansions.
In the expansions, you get extra
stuff.
So I'll name a gripe that people have with The Sims 4, and you can kind of rebuttal just the community's gripes. Sure, yeah, you'll fight them one-on-one, just like I'm willing to defend the amazing
Roadhog.
The amazing Roadhog. No, the amazing Spearmint.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going against Spearmint. If you don't know who Spearmint is, she's one of my Sims, and Aaron thinks she's better than her sister, but we all know the truth. We all know the truth.
And I mostly think that because Spearmint is just in general better candy. So.
No, also Spear's a weird first name. But anyway.
All right.
Name a gripe.
All right. I've kind of touched on this in the past too, is that the expansion packs for The Sims 3 were pretty big. It changed the games a lot.
I only played it on PlayStation. And I don't...
That was probably the base game too.
I mean,
PlayStation.
It has to be. Because
they have expansion
packs.
packs.
Down from like a used game store or something.
And I mentioned this, The Sims 4, a lot of the expansion packs is adding stuff that was already in The Sims 3 base form. You know what I mean? Granted, some things they do better. Like, I kind of read up on the vampire stuff.
Oh my gosh.
They handled that so much better than... Really? Really?
I think they just don't like the vampires, but I love it. Like, it's just a town of gothic style, and then vampire mechanisms are so cool.
They're a lot more in-depth than the
there are like
Sims
different
3.
levels of vampires.
Because in Sims 3 they had vampires too, but it was pretty basic.
You were just a vampire.
Yeah.
I love the vampires.
So
it's one of my favorite packs.
So how do you feel about maybe some people feeling that the expansion packs are kind of lackluster?
I think it depends on the pack in general. And
So like name one that's like really you think is full of rich and content and
expansion packs, because there's only 4.
Okay.
Or 5. 4 or 5. I don't know. I'm a Sim spurt. I don't. Well, the new cats and dogs one is amazing. City living is really cool. I don't have any qualms, honestly. Like, they're all good. I like them all. Because, okay, let's see. There is... Okay. The get to work only includes... It adds a world. But that world is small. It's Magnolia Promenade. And it only has 4 lots. And I understand why it's small, because it's not supposed to be a place where your Sims live. It's supposed to be a shopping district. But that world's kind of disappointing to me, because they're not very... The lot sizes aren't terribly varied. But the expansion pack in general and the stuff it comes with is great. I just don't think that world is very cool. But in general, I think I like them.
Well, now expansion packs in the past have been expanding the actual like mechanics of the game.
These do.
They do for sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Get to work adds not only some actual jobs that you can go to, you don't just disappear. It also adds restaurant. No, Get to Work adds stores, and then there's another one that adds restaurants. They Get Together adds clubs, and the clubs are insane because it's not like these are the clubs you can choose from. Like, you can design clubs. Like, you could have your Sim design a club and name it whatever you want, and then you can choose things that Sims in that club like to do. So you could have a club full of children. Actually, I heard about someone that did this. Their Sim created a club full of children, and it was them and like 5 kids. And then they would start a club meeting at their house, and all the actions they like to do were clean. So she would start a club meeting, so all these kid Sims would arrive, and then just clean your house.
That's
so
actually
like
pretty
it's
cool.
that cool.
Yeah.
You can do that much stuff with it. And city living adds not only like a whole city, but you can learn recipes that are specific to the city. There's like 27 recipes. There are different events, like there's a Geek Con, there's a Spice Festival, there's all kinds of stuff.
What do the events do for you? You just get cool like shirts and stuff?
There's shirts, but there's also like you actually, it's like you go to like Geek Con, it's like you're going to a nerd convention. The Romance Festival, you're like going to... They're really cool. And like there's even a flea market, and then your Sims can sell stuff at the flea market, and then random Sims can appear and sell things at the flea market. So there's a lot going on.
That's neat.
And those are just the expansion packs. Cats and dogs, you adds owning and running a vet clinic.
No, I've heard...
There's a lot going on mechanically. I think what people don't like is that actual objects you sometimes don't get a lot of, and I think specifically the thing that you usually don't get a lot of is clothing. Because the expansion packs usually add a new venue, and they add a lot of... Depending on what the pack is for, like specific items for, like the vet clinic, you get like vet exam tables and stuff.
Is that what the stuff packs are for? Kind of filling that role?
Stuff packs add like a handful of decorations and clothing. But they're $10 and they don't have like a ton of stuff in them.
This could be an entirely different video, but I've never really been a fan of the Sims selling DLC kind of model. Just in general,
it is an expensive game, I'll admit that. But they do really major sales all the time. Like during Black Friday, you can buy the base game for $10, and it's like a $50 game. Right. So it's an expensive game if you buy it at face value, but if you don't even have to wait that long if you want to save a bunch of money on The Sims.
Well,
you got a smart shop for everything, even The Sims.
Even The Sims. And can your Sims smart shoply as well?
Smart shoply?
I guess not. They can't do that. They can't.
I mean, that's a you problem. If you spend all your simoleons and your Sims starve and their electricity goes out and their children get taken away, there's only one person to blame.
This is just really random, but I absolutely love the language the Sims speak in.
Simlish?
Yes.
You know it's an actual proper language, right?
Yeah, you told me that before, actually.
Yeah, because they have artists. I can't remember which expansion pack it comes with, but they had actual singers and stuff
make a language.
No, they translated their songs into Simlish for them and then had them sing the songs in Simlish for the music that like came out of the radios and stuff. Poppy's in there.
Really?
Yeah, there's a Poppy song.
I feel like my next update video needs to be in
Poppy and Simlish?
No, my next update video needs to be in Simlish.
I've looked. I haven't found any.
Maybe it already is. Maybe
there's. I haven't looked very hard.
Maybe those noises I make are just internalized Simlish.
I'm pretty sure that means hello.
Oh, hi. How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Veronica, for joining me here on my channel.
And in your game room.
And in my game room. Isn't it big and expansive? Do you like the double-decker couch over there and the fireplace?
I love rooms that are 4 square feet.
I made a video with Veronica over on her channel if you're interested. It's me fumbling about in Sims 4 trying to make myself. So if you're interested in me both embarrassing myself and also what I look like, go.
It doesn't look exactly like him, so don't get too excited. And he won't let me post the selfie, the selfie people that he took as reference.
Oh man.
But I have blackmail now.
That's true. Also, you see my face like all the time, so you can always. That's always blackmail. That's always me.
I know where he lives.
Well, thank you, Veronica, for joining me.
You're welcome.
And maybe we'll talk about some, when Sims 5 comes out eventually, maybe I'll get you on in 20 years.
Do you think it's going to be 20 years?
Probably not. Man, I'm thinking like maybe, how old is Sims 3? 4?
3 years old. I don't know
Sims
how old
4?
is Sims 3.
I think it's like
But
8.
how many years was Sims 3 out before it was finished?
8.
8. Okay, so we've got 5 years of Sims 4.
It's going to be a little while. Unless, of course, people stop buying stuff.
I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I'll support you, EA.
I think it might go until it stops making money. I think that's why this.
I mean, it's beautiful, so I don't see why they would have to stop. Or until the game gets too big, because eventually it's going to get to a point where normal people can't download it, and I don't think they do that.
Case in point, Team Fortress 2 is a 10-year-old game, and when I say spaghetti code, it's an old game that's just
sounds
like
delicious.
You know when you replace like that age-old like if you replace every part of your ship one bit at a time, is it the same ship?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, It's just so piled on to the base experience. It chugs. And a 10-year-old game should not run that poorly. But it's just because it's been updated so much. Yeah. And that might eventually happen to The Sims 4, so...
I don't know. I mean, the base game in general is really heavy, so I think they know that there's a limit.
There is a limit,
because they don't want to sell something that only a supercomputer can play.
Yeah, because
The Sims 4 is, I mean, obviously there are people that make Sims videos and stuff. Hello. But
Hi.
a lot of people that play The Sims are just people.
Right.
Because it's just a really casual game. Like, there's nothing, you don't really win or lose.
See,
you have nothing to lose by playing it because it's super cool.
I play The Sims because I have a god complex.
He hasn't played The Sims.
Okay, bye!
Bye!